Welcome.
Welcome to the morning. We're going to start off with the Corrections Corner.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Shout out to Lane from the Driving While Awesome podcast. If you guys like car culture, you want to listen to here, you want to hear some dudes have witty banter about automotive stuff, Driving While Awesome. It's another Santa Cruz-based situation.
And you could be so awesome
He said,
when you drive.
yo, I listen to the podcast, but you're misinformed about the Hawk to a girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we get for commenting on popular internet culture.
Do that when I wasn't here?
It was me
Who
and Jer.
knows?
Yeah.
The other week.
Yeah.
And Reezy told me, I'm putting Reezy on blast.
Hey, dude. He's on the internet more than anybody.
He's all, yeah, she was a school teacher. She's a preschool teacher. And she showed up to work and the parents were picketing the school and she lost her
that's
job.
a whole story. Backstory even.
And Lane's all, nah, dude. She was working at a spring factory and she's killing it right now.
That's it. And
I
that's
haven't
all.
fact checked either of these, but I just wanted to have a
pass along the
half-ass
rumors.
internet research. If you want the rumor mill, you can get it right here. You don't have to go anywhere else.
Absolutely.
We've got all the bullshit
The
you
pop
don't need to know
culture,
about. Yeah, about all the stuff you shouldn't care
You can-
about.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can tell we
It's
care
like, if
big time.
you want to waste your life, this is a great place to do
Hey,
it.
you know
So
what?
thank you, Lane.
Yeah.
Props out. Hopefully she cashes in and makes a lot of cash money for herself for a little
Shout out
bit
to
and
DWA.
enjoys her flash-fired pan-fried human being time.
Flash fried human being.
Flash-fried human being.
Nothing like a flash fried human.
Nice 15 minutes.
Yeah, she get her 15 minutes of fame. Maybe more. Who knows? But
Maybe more.
So far, that's it.
It's
So far, known for spouting off and being funny.
We'll be
That's
gone
what I
next
was told.
month.
Yeah, you never know.
People don't have the attention span,
So there we are.
and it's not like you're doing anything actually.
No, you're just providing some entertainment value and trying to start a little line of clothing for himself. That's
Really?
that was one of
awesome.
the things I saw too. Is like,
Right.
hey, all that stuff, I'm not making any money off of it. I'm starting my own brand soon, so just pay attention.
It's
Buy
just-
my-
Let's go like trademark.
Sure, dude.
she might get sued. Someone might come after her if she
Yeah.
files.
That's how-
Best to keep it low pro,
Low
dude.
profile.
Keep it
Anyway.
under the radar.
Yeah. Trust us, we know. We've got so many side brands going on that
Yeah.
we're in the cut.
What was the one we thought of last week? I think it was for you.
Oh man, it was
Oh
probably
no, it's Truby Tours.
yeah, I was just touring people
Based
around.
off of that guy, you
Based
can
off
tour
of-
people
running
Around
people around
Disney?
speed. Well, should that actually
Anywhere.
be legit? I could
Anyway.
anywhere
It
you
was-
need a high energy guy.
Anywhere you need a high energy speed tour was the idea. There's this dude that I stumbled on that is just he does speed tours of houses and he's ridiculously funny, but he like literally runs through them and he puts on a little bit of a show.
You could be like part of Airbnb experiences.
yeah, it'd be like Airbnb.
I think he actually does speed first.
Yeah, he probably does real amphetamine salts. I'll show you a video after, Chuck.
Yeah.
He's
No, you don't
the
need
first
to.
one. I mean, it's pretty
Chuck's
funny
like,
and
"I'm out."
entertaining, but it's not really worth your
I got
time.
other
No,
things
it's
to
definitely
do.
not worth your
Yeah,
time.
I definitely yeah. He just stumbled upon. I sent it to Georgie.
I kind of feel like you could do better.
I'm sure I could, but I would also have to want to, and that is something that I don't, that I definitely do not want to do.
What dude? Segueing into things you do want to do. What you were saying? You're working on some like
Oh, yeah, I was
coffee cocktails.
I would like to, yes, actually. That's why I want to do something because
I want to do something.
we all just sit here and talk to our friends and don't do physical stuff, and I,
feel like
to
you
do
do
stuff.
work all week
I
long.
Are
do,
you-
but it's like there's no work where I do the stuff where it's like connective to the people that interact with our business anymore.
Even our guests.
There's no sort of guest service.
You want to be guest facing, huh?
I want to do. No, I just want to feel like there's something. I think you get this too, Chris. Is that like when you work in an industry where you create something and share it with people? Aside from this podcast, I'm not doing that sharing portion and getting any sort of face-to-face interaction,
Right, you're like
in any
leading the
regard.
people that
Yeah,
are doing
which
that.
is which is
Yeah.
awesome,
Right?
and it's really important and cool. It also leads to where it's like the three of us, or oftentimes yourself with your team, isolated in mindset, and it's great and it's collaborative, but you're not necessarily able to just do what you do. Like that's part of what I do is like create an actual experience and see it through. Like the last time I think fully the thing I did A to Z was like that Disney leadership development trip
Yeah.
where it's like the whole thing. And that was, that was all the stuff. That was the little package. That was an itinerary. That was A to Z planning. That was making sure everybody had like their rooms taken care of. Like it was one of those things where it's
you were like,
it is actually the Truby
Jared
Tours.
was like highlighting for like 20 people. He was going through every packet and
I saw that.
highlighting.
I also
But the
did
problem with Jared
all
highlighting
the-
is that he just highlights the whole thing.
well,
He's like,
that was
scene
that's a
that
great
wasn't the
idea.
thing. That
That's
was
a great
This is
idea.
all gold.
That's a great idea.
That wasn't the itinerary I did that in. That was in the
no, the packets.
The book.
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the,
totally.
the actual book
No,
that I
not
gave him to
I
read.
mean, you're going through the packets of information and being like, this is what you should pay attention to. This is what you should pay attention to.
No, well, that's for them to read on their own and see where concepts work for companies that we use as valid, but for them to study on their own. But that's not an over. No. That's perfect. That's perfect.
You're an over highlighter.
That gives them
Guaranteed.
You
I've seen you highlighting. I'm
in some of it I am, but like if you want to give them the stuff to like, if you thought just people were gonna like actually most of the people aren't gonna read the book A to Z to find their own way, and you want them to pick it up and to look through and be like, okay, this is an important thing that I could learn something from. That's what I was doing. Because in that experience, I was like, out of all the 10 people going right now, I bet you 2 will A to Z read this book, just because I think that's how people
Jared
roll.
wanted them to read 85% of the book instead of
like,
100%.
instead of the 100 pages,
Yeah.
you're gonna read 80 of them.
You can
I'm
read.
gonna highlight 85%.
I'll give you 60 pages.
I'll give you
to check
60
through.
pages.
60 half pages, which is a translation of 30. But I do like to. That's basically your Truby Tours thing.
Here's what's gonna happen next time. All right, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna do it my way. We're gonna give 10 people the book,
Yeah, and if they read it,
and then
they can come.
we're gonna schedule a time for conversation before the thing,
Yeah.
and we're all gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
And then when it's clear who didn't read the book, it's like, okay, you
You're
guys
not
aren't coming.
going. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you just don't want to, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Called Baca Tours.
It's
Yeah.
called opt-in. It's called enrollment. You don't have
Enrollment.
to go to school here, but if you're gonna go,
You're getting A's.
you're gonna show up and kick some ass.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's fucking do
In the
this.
US.
Don't
USA.
take any
Fly like an eagle.
half-assers.
So wait, are you gonna do a
I haven't
coffee
done anything.
cocktail
I've just
pop-up?
got some. No, I've got some.
You bought some sarsaparilla.
I got some stuff to work on mixing and tasting because you have to figure out how it all works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's opportunity. I know there's opportunity to do things that are interesting with all the non-alcoholic spirits and flavors in the world.
So here's
And if we're probably not getting a liquor license anytime soon, but there is always an opportunity for
man,
beer and wine.
that'd be great if we could just serve Burnett after dark,
yeah,
just Manhattans after 5 p.m.
exactly.
So okay, here's the collab that's brewing in my head. You've got what's her name? Amanda, but what's her business name?
Rhythm Coffee Co.
Because she makes coffee. They're not cocktails, but they're kind of fancy coffee beverages, or are they cocktails?
They'll do both and.
Both and.
They'll do
Okay.
all sorts of stuff
So
over there.
combo her and then Josh the non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah,
and you
Bring
And
'em
it's
all
just
together,
like crazy
dude.
energy vortex
that'd be a lot of
where the
Josh
world
is
just
like
explodes.
exploding drinks in his hand.
Because that's what you could do is you could partner with somebody that has a liquor license and do
Absolutely.
it as like a separate,
At their place.
separate thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about the ideas. I want to get some
It's a secret.
creative flavors together
Trademark.
secret. I got a secret.
and see what's up because I just think there's
Are you?
fun to be had.
Do you think you're gonna run
Well, think about
integrate something into Cat and Cloud, or are you
it.
gonna
I
run
think
like a
there's
pop up,
plenty-
like a?
That's the whole. I mean, with me, it's like there's tree
Who knows?
branches, right? Like there's a root, and then there's a
And
trunk.
there's 150
Then
branches.
it's like, yeah, which branch are we gonna pull on at the end of the day? Like you could theoretically put them all together and put them in something and sell them to drink. You could put them in a pop up and do an experience. Should we set up a location for that?
I'm gonna excuse myself
Yep.
very quickly.
Oh,
He's got a thing.
Charles has got a pop up on his telephone.
He's got a United States America.
If-
and it's
Oh.
like, you better talk to me.
the speakerphone. It's the president. He pocket dialed him.
Basically, though, if I'm like going broad scope, there is creativity that I want to express via flavors and coffee, and if I'm not going to have what we wanted to build out in our roastery, which was a little space for us to actually do all the stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're going to have like our annexy thing.
Right.
I mean, I still really wish I want
Damn,
that.
we could do it though.
I mean, but we didn't.
But we can.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole plan was to do it later.
Well, yeah.
I mean, no one's going to do it unless we decide we really want to do it and then put our foot forward.
We need a space, though. We can't do it in that space is what we realized. It's too small. We need more space in our...
The big door's opening.
Big door's open. We need more space in our roastery in general, or in general to do that. Like, we need all the roastery space because we couldn't build out.
But the space where the retail location was going to be is just full of garbage.
Well, the problem
90%.
We should if we were going to do it, we should have built it to begin with. That's all. And now that we haven't, I think we use all that space. You're right. That corner is.
But even the whole, because the footprint was going to be small.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole front office, half of it just sits with shit.
Yeah, but
honest, I'm just like I'm trying to see the positive in a negative. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not a negative. It's just we didn't build in any of the plumbing. We didn't build in any of the water. We didn't build like all the drainage. Like it's already built now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
There's no floor drains. or anything.
Like it's all built. The footprint's the footprint. So it's not for me. It's not the negative. I mean, we could do it over there, but the experience would then mean that we would take one of those two doors, which we actually could do this, and build a wall straight across to where the entrance of the roastery is and almost block it off halfway there.
Oh, it would have to be blocked off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm picturing in my mind is that the whole thing is blocked off where there's two doors where you come in.
Yeah.
Because remember on the drawings,
well, we were going to have
there
them
was
come
the
in
one door
and
goes
the
in
other.
and one door goes out. And that was just
entrance
this
is a
whole
other
little
thing.
area. Yeah. And you can't, there was like some glass behind it.
Yeah.
And you could maybe see in there. Although now that the office is there, you wouldn't even really want to see in there because it's not super visually appealing.
The vision was different.
Yeah, because the vision was the glass, kind of like a brewery where you see the roastery behind you, but it just didn't really work out like that.
Well, we're a small business who didn't have as much money as we wanted.
Everything on a budget.
But it's still doable. I mean, but that's part of it is like if you want to do an experience for me, that's what you want, the A to Z experience, right? And that's where if I don't have that, which was like the vision of it, which we could still redo in some regard, I don't know how. That'd be like a challenging thing to do, an adaptive, challenging thing, which we could do. I'd be down to
just
to
be
work
money
towards
and
that.
permits.
Yeah, but it would also change the way we operate, like day in and day out in there too. This is like a little bit of backstory stuff we could figure it out. If we're not going to have that, then I was like, well, where could I start? I could start with working on flavor development and coming up with things that I'm excited about. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I can, if nothing else, then I could have things that we could do at a pop-up at Swift Street or any of our cafes, really, at that regard. Because if it's around what maybe in a perfect world would be coffee cocktail thingies and some single origin, whatever, coffee experience, drinking experience, we'll call it, right? And the ability to flex and express the skill set that would develop for like 20-ish years.
I talked to Mark about something similar because I was probably just I was on a fucking rant about how I own a coffee company, but I can't, for some reason, get single origin espresso. I was like, we had all these coffees.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are really good.
Yeah.
And I want to drink them all as espresso. And why is that so hard? And I wasn't putting shade on Mark. I was just kind of ranting about kind of in the same zone that you're in. It's like, we built this business. There's a ton of potential. But for some reason, it's tricky to find these areas where we're super passionate about, like connecting A to Z for some reason. Anyway, I was on a rant. I was like, what do I got to do? I need to bring my Linea Mini and 4 grinders into Swift Street, and I'll set up on the
middle space.
Yeah, the middle space, like where that whole bean shelf is low, and then a little up high, and then just have single origin bar 2 days a month where you can pay,
market price
for whatever coffees I think are delicious, and just get single origin espresso.
I mean, that's
I mean, that's a simpler one because
that's the general
all you got to do
idea, though.
Set aside coffee, figure out the specs, which is cake.
I mean, that's what we do. Yeah, that's like the whole career,
simple,
basically.
Simple.
So, yeah, I mean, if we're trying to go off of last episode, who's the best pilots?
Because I think that seems
it's
totally
just something
feasible.
to that effect. And I think that what happens when you, I'm actually kind of surprised, maybe I haven't paid attention to in like barista comp, that people aren't truly making cocktails with all of the non-alcoholic spirits and non-alcoholic things that go with it, like proper little cocktails to go with their sig beverages.
I have no idea
maybe
what
they are,
people
maybe they
doing.
aren't.
I
That's what
haven't
I'm saying.
looked at all.
I've seen a few, and I guess they're sort of like, I know Kay did kind of a play on one, but all that to say, there's a lot of creativity to be expressed and things that people haven't done. So and some people are for sure, like non-alcoholic and Rhythm are doing some things too, and props to all that. But
I feel like that cocktail is trending up. The coffee mocktails.
Well, I mean, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I just see a lot more of it on social.
Yeah.
And people are kind of tapping into it. There's a dude who Adam knows, Barlow.
Shouts to Barlow.
Shout out to Barlow. Shout out to Low Bar. They're in, I think he's in Florida. From the Bay. He was skating. I think I skated with him one time. I only met him in real life. Anyway, he's rips, and he just got super into coffee, so he's doing pop-up stuff in Florida, and a lot of it seems centered around those fancy cocktail mocktails with some sort of coffee. It looks like a Manhattan pretty stuff.
Sure.
Which I could see running at a wedding, running at a party.
If people like sweet coffee with any sort of syrups or flavors, like that's pretty proven, right? Then there's clearly space for other versions of that, and that's all this is, right? If there's creativity, there's mixology, there's mixing of flavors. Do they work well together? There's a space for it. That's proven. There's frappuccinos. There's whatever it's
Red Bulls.
There's Red Bull and coffee.
Yeah. I mean, don't want to drink Red Bull. I'm
people
sure
are drinking Coke and like Jolt Cola and coffee.
Drink
like
espresso martinis are popular somehow.
Espresso martinis are super popular.
Yeah.
So I mean, in that regard,
what did we call it at the pop-up? The coffee and soda.
Oh, I was out of town.
On Andre's menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm blanking, but I know
There's some
place
clever
I started out was called Keith Richards, which was soda and coffee.
Keith Richards.
Yeah, the Keith Richards espresso.
Because if you drink enough of them, you end up looking like Keith Richards.
Probably. I just that place was trying to make plays on all those old school stuff. Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
that's fun.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I mean,
if you're really excited, in 1 month, exactly 1 month from tomorrow, it's going to be an event here at Beeline. For Car Week.
Okay.
And
are you doing your coffee?
I met with Nick.
Was that last year that you did that?
That wasn't for Car Week.
Oh, okay.
That was just for their open house, but it'll be kind of a similar vibe. So I'm assuming this is going to be bigger because it's kind of a lead into Car Week, and Car Week's huge around here. But so they're doing a beer release collab with the Other Brother guys,
nice.
And this is going to be the launch party for that, and they're going to have food. And he was like, if only I knew someone who did coffee. And this was a couple weeks ago. It's like, well, let me know the exact details, which we haven't figured out yet, because I don't want to do it by myself again. I would need to bring in a crew.
It's busy.
So it's just an option.
That's part of it.
I'm not seriously considering it, but if he begs enough, or if you want to do some cocktails,
I gotta find out the flavors. I mean,
well, I'm just
gotta find them flavors.
Trying to give you the due date.
There's some,
I'll give you a 1 month due date.
Yeah, there's many yummy bases that you can use besides, and then our great espressos are.
Because if you make 2 drinks, if you come up with
2 drinks, I can do that easy.
And then we'll do cappuccino and espresso.
Right.
That's all we can need.
Solid menu.
Yeah.
Set up.
Because you could do one that's built to order and one that's kind of batched or something. And then
Exactamundo.
Serve drinks for 2 hours and then party for the rest of the night.
Dude, non-alcoholic party. You're just there.
Just
and you're not feeling horrible in the night. You can do one drink.
We could use alcohol.
These.
I mean,
this one
private events, you can totally use real alcohol. They can't stop you.
You can get ripped.
I love it.
Anyway, it's just an open door.
Yeah. Love is an open door.
Love is an open door.
So that's where we started. I found some non-alcoholic rum, some non-alcoholic aperitif, some non-alcoholic what was the other one? There's something else super clear. Well, anyways, a couple things. And then some bitters and bases. Like there's an old-fashioned base that's non-alcoholic that theoretically you would add the alcohol to, right? But we'll see.
Shirley Temple.
Yeah, a couple Shirley Temples for the kids.
You could distill some coffee and make your own little
Go
coffee
old
bitters
school,
or
who knows? There's cacao bitters. Anyway, there's flavors out there to be developed, you guys, and that's really what I'm about.
Flavors to be found.
As a spromalier, as the people say.
Spromalier.
You're welcome, dude. Use it. Yeah.
Dang. At Spromalier.
At spromalier.com.
You better get that handle right now before this
got
episode
it,
comes out. Nice.
Oh, no, we should actually. You want to see?
I mean, you might as well.
Might as well try.
I mean, this is going to be a better side hustle than the speed tours of the houses. That's for damn sure.
Dude, call the spromalier.net.
Spromalier.
Oh, gosh, it's such a thing.
Let's get it, dude. I can't wait.
Well, what, I have to create an account, dude?
No, you can just add it to yours.
You with your own email?
Huh?
No, hold on, bro. I don't know. I haven't done this stuff.
Baca's got lots of...
I'm just saying, if you're on Instagram, you just
I am, dude.
you can add a new thing, and you shouldn't have to enter any new information.
Is this true?
I mean...
Let's try, dude.
Yes.
Keep going. You guys talk amongst yourselves, internet guys.
Yes is the answer to that one.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I know, dude. Look
so
at
Baca,
this.
what else have you added to your account?
I had a couple handles. So I had ones that I like came and went, and my favorite one I have is "Work Could Be Better."
It's true.
Which I also know I also own the domain workcouldbebetter.com.
They're solid.
Which I couldn't get before, but then it popped up, so I scooped it.
They couldn't make work better, and
they couldn't make work better.
Yeah,
shoot, dang.
So yeah, I have both of those because I wanted to do a podcast that was called "Work Could Be Better." That was basically really short form, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, digestible nuggets of the things that we talk about. So not too different than something that we would write for the newsletter or something that I might write for my blog, to where it's just something that you chew on. You fire it up and you might listen to a few episodes, and then it gets you excited to look at things differently at work, or do things differently at work, or create a culture that you want to be a part of, whether you're a business owner or a employee.
I like that.
How can you make the most of that opportunity? So I've been kind of sleeping on that for a long time and had a couple false starts, but I think I toyed with the idea of doing it like this, because we just started doing the Cat and Cloud newsletter.
Yeah.
Which, thank you for the feedback. Chuck gave me good feedback, which it's important. It was so funny how you're like, I just am I a dick? I'm sorry.
I just give it
so I had some typos, which is great because I need to know when I have typos, because despite spell check and Grammarly, sometimes things just get missed.
Spell check plus Grammarly equals still imperfect.
So I was thinking of just doing it and feeding it to the newsletter, like kind of having not a private feed, but not trying to make it a big thing. It's kind of like an add value. If you're part of the Cat and Cloud newsletter, you also get a link to this podcast and kind of use it for a test of organic growth.
Yeah. See what the feedback is. See what people think about it.
But then also just an experiment, kind of this smallest viable audience experiment. Instead of creating something and just trying to promote it to the moon, getting it to a relatively small group of people who you think might care about this idea. So if you had a newsletter, like, I don't know how many thousands of people are on our newsletter, and then you take the open rate of the newsletter, which is infinitely smaller, you've got a relatively small group of people.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's 1,000 people that actually open our newsletter. I have no idea. And you feed them a podcast like that, and then you kind of do that for 6 months to a year, and then check in and see, is the podcast growing and at what rate?
Yeah.
And if it is, all that means is that people value it enough to tell their friends about it, because you're not promoting it anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's all kind of a word of mouth thing, and I'm just kind of curious
Almost
about,
like a focus group.
Exactly. So I'm just kind of curious about that. Who knows? So I have some things logged. I'm supposed to start it. It's just one of those things that I keep just putting off because I want it to be better than it needs to be. I'm overthinking it.
You want me to give you a due date?
That would be great. Yes, please. You could be my accountability buddy on multiple fronts.
Accountability buddy.
I need the due date. Just like I gave Jared the due date on the 10th. Jared's doing a pop-up.
August 10th?
It's coffee cocktails.
I'm doing it.
He's got a due date. Here, we'll set up on the truck. I'll be your bar back.
Shake it.
Maybe not stirred.
Nose, yeah.
One boozy and stiff. One just light and
Stiffy
airy.
McBoozy is what we'll call it. One drink.
I just
Can I
want
get a Stiffy
just want a
McBoozy?
stiff and boozy thing.
I need you to say the whole thing, or else I cannot make it for you. Stiffy McBoozy.
Can I get that one? No, you have to say it.
Yep.
The boozy one. No,
Nope.
I need you to say
All of it.
Stiff and boozy.
No, McBoozy, dude. It's way
Stiff
more
and
like
McBoozy?
Stiffy McBoozy.
Stiffy McBoozy. I'll have 2 Stiffy McBoozies
Exactly,
and a Muy
dude.
Fresca.
This guy ordered 2 Stiffy McBoozies.
2 Stiffy McBoozies all day.
Whimsy's part of it. Fuck you guys. Have some fun. Say it.
I like this.
Yeah, I love this Stiffy
is
McBoozy.
The energy at the Stiffy McBoozy pop-up's great. Have you been to the Spromalier
Yeah,
pop-up?
the
The guy's
Spromalier.
on fire.
The guy keeps on selling this drink called the Stiffy McBoozy.
He talks
I
dirty to me,
cannot-
but I kind of like it.
Exactly. It's dirty, but also not at the same time because it's so not olive juice. Olive juice.
Olive juice?
Olive juice.
Oleo?
Oh my gosh, that's what's happening in my brain. I wanted to try some shit, so I'm hoping the flavor. I know the flavors will come out.
What if we both get due dates for our little projects and then we just, you know what I mean? Like,
I
what
do,
if Chuck
absolutely
actually
know what you
holds us
mean.
accountable?
I know what you mean. I have to have access to
Alcohol?
people not being in the business while I try stuff. So I'm gonna have to make. I was gonna start with making coffee at home and starting with some of the flavors with just coffee, and then find my way in here to do some espresso in the lab as I understand a little bit more how these. Because what happens is for me, I'll have coffee. And I'll be like, cool, here's the flavors in the coffee. And then I'll have all the stuff that I'll taste individually and be like, cool, that all works together. And then I'll be like, what espressos? What things might I play with here in the lab? Do I want it hot? Do I want it cold? Do I want it with steamy thing? Do I want it with some sort of canister of frothy McStuffins? So that's kind of how I was picturing it. Because what I don't want is everybody to jump on some sort of thing too quickly and get... I want to develop it and then pass it to people, which is easy. But just finding that space, you guys would be different. But you know what I'm saying?
People
Like,
pick it up too hard, or
if I brought all that stuff into the lab, everybody would be just like really interested, which is great. But it takes away from the ability to focus, and to like be creative, because then they'd be like, oh yeah, good idea. Maybe we should try this, that, and the other. And people want to like. I'm glad for it, but
you're all. Let me show you base camp right here. You see this? This is the lab schedule. Is your fucking name on this?
Yeah.
No, it says Jared
And
Truby has
they're
the
like-
lab for 3 hours.
they're like, that's cool. I'll just be right here, and then they'll sit in the chair, and they're like, just gonna do some work, and they'll be just like 10 feet away from me, just watching instead of doing work.
drooling.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that looks kind of good.
Like, yeah, I'm like, can I try one of those? Hey, just at your leisure, like, if you get one extra, like, I'd love to try what you're getting into.
I had a great lab day with Mark because I booked the lab to make some espresso,
coffee,
make some coffee. Yeah, actually, that
Oh, yeah,
I
how'd it
did.
turn out?
I sent it to Steven.
Yeah.
So the coffee's like,
the Monty.
yeah, it was good. I mean, he got it yesterday. He sent me a thing. They were making cappuccinos with it. He thought it was delicious. I was stoked on it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, dude, I was thinking about that shot of holiday blend that you made me. I want to order something. What's like that? And I was like, well, nothing.
Yeah,
But
the holidays are like that. Yeah,
I can make you something.
sure.
So I just booked the lab and cupped and made espresso. And I was trying to get super focused too, but Mark ended up jumping in, and it was actually really awesome because we were cupping together and just riffing, and it was super fun. And then it was kind of this 50-50 split where it was 50% of the time doing stuff together, and then 50% of the time, like when I was pulling espresso, it's more helpful to be really, really focused.
Mhm.
Cupping's easy for everybody to jump in on, I think.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
That seems like a more
That's
communal activity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, blending and stuff is a little more.
You're in your head.
Yeah.
You're focused on flavors. I mean, ultimately, whatever it is, I want to be able to do it in collaboration, with the people, and I want to set up something that would be really fun and engaging across the board that maybe would get some of our team to want to step into really geeking out and taking something really seriously and having a lot of fun, which they already do, don't get me wrong. But to your point earlier, why can't we get a single origin espresso across the thing and the other? It's like, because at this point with the larger company, we have our menu items, and we're teaching people how to serve them really well. And even though they could still do other things, and we could figure out ways, which I'm sure we will, to integrate something single origin related with an EK and other ways that in the moment, right, we have these things that people serve.
Do you want to hear my theory?
Yeah.
On espresso? I
Sure,
shared
man.
this. I shared this with Andre.
And always theories on espresso.
Just on the fly.
That's what this podcast is for.
Everybody, you hear my theories on
everybody,
espresso?
here's your moment.
Okay.
Theories on espresso.
This is to your point of we've got a large company. We have a certain structure to it. My theory is, so we've got the answer and then we've got the truth.
Yeah, we do.
And let's say we just had the answer. Let's take the truth off the table for a second.
Right,
and let's say we wanted to put in a single origin espresso in the second grinder. My theory is the quality of espresso would go up exponentially if, for that single origin espresso, we let the cafes choose the coffee and dial in the coffee themselves. If we went to and said, like, not all cafes have to pull the same single origin espresso. You can pick whatever you want, and you can figure out the spec on it. Because what's going to happen?
You got to use it for
they
X amount
gotta
of time.
learn how to do it.
They've got to learn how to do it, and 2 or 3 people, the uber coffee geeks of any cafe, are going to be like, fuck yes.
Yeah,
and they're
dude.
going to go in, and through the process of picking the espresso and dialing in the espresso, they're going to become better baristas, but they're also going to get other people excited about that thing because
Absolutely.
they're not passed on this like, oh yeah, the truth. And I'm making it sound like really mundane, but I'm trying to make my point here. So it's like, okay, yeah, like new truth is out. Yeah, here's the spec. This is how we pull it.
Right.
Cool. Like that's great. Versus, oh my gosh, I got this whole menu and I have like maybe a price point that I got to stay in. And
I'm all about
I just get to pick, and I just think that would be amazing. To your point of, what are we going to do? Or there's limitations, and there's also ways we can switch things up.
Well, I would maybe propose. I mean, we can still stick to our life, but maybe we could propose the idea of, well, I don't know, 1 to 2 months a year that we do this. And then, but you still, we have to plan in such a way where there's forecasting that we have enough of the coffee. If they did choose it, the price point would make sense. But I think it's not a bad idea if we were to offer, and anybody were to offer this concept to a squad. We have 4 locations, so if they all picked different coffees, that would not be a problem. It would just be, forecasting pounds on hand.
Well, I mean,
et cetera.
Because it actually wouldn't be that much coffee because we move through a lot of the truth, but I'm not sure the bulk of that truth is moved through at, like, how much truth do we move through as espresso that's served as straight espresso, like not whole bean? You know what I mean? How much?
No, it's not insane.
Because it's probably what?
I don't know,
20
50
shots a
pounds a week
day,
is my guess.
max
50 to 100 pounds a week.
Yeah.
of the truth as espresso.
We go through about 200
Per
pounds of
cafe.
truth total per week.
Is that including whole bean
Yeah,
too?
total.
Though?
Everything.
Yeah, because
So
I'm thinking if I'm
then what 20
Probably call it like
25.
80 pounds across the 4 cafes.
yeah, because I guess maybe the better question is how many straight espressos do we serve every day? Because
Yeah.
that's probably a more accurate representation of what
100?
something like this would take
Well, you're basically thinking
across all cafes. That
Yeah,
sounds about
probably.
right.
probably
Yeah.
about
Like
Call
20,
it 20 to 40
20,
at each cafe.
25 a day. Yeah. Okay. So if we
I mean,
went,
minimum that for a team, right? Your team, almost everybody's getting a shot. We'll
Yeah.
say.
that's true. Yeah. Plus the team. Yeah. Yeah.
So you gotta think. I mean,
Because if you did a single origin in that way, you wouldn't have those pounds that are allocated towards, truth whole bean. You would just have whatever's moving through the hopper. So it wouldn't be a huge amount of coffee.
exactly.
So I think you follow me. You're thinking about something.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about like the guest experience of like, again, if somebody has it as espresso and they really like it, but then they couldn't get it. You're saying they couldn't get it in whole bean?
No, they could.
Well,
get,
no, it would be
it'd be a
menu
coffee.
offering.
it would be a
SO.
copy that's on our menu.
Right.
I guess I'm just saying we wouldn't have to do a whole huge projection about. I think
Like
we
our
would,
pounds, you mean?
Exactly. I think we sell a lot more whole bean truth than we do any given single origin on any given day. You know what I mean?
i.e.
If that makes
generalizing
sense.
this blends sell more than single origins as a concept.
Correct.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is we wouldn't have to do we wouldn't have to up the projection numbers for any particular coffee if someone decided they wanted to pull, 20 shots a day of it for the month.
Yeah, if they pick like
Right.
Mataro from Kenya, we would most likely have enough for. Anyways, all this to say, yes, we could figure it out. All I would take is the green team saying these are the coffees that we could do that with, right? And they wouldn't pick something like Juan Pena. And it's like, well, we actually only have 100 pounds of that total. And
Right.
We're not taking that to the cafe. That's
Totally.
basically where we're going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And maybe if we wanted to gangster out, actually, you were talking about this, Charles, I think in our exec meeting. I think it was you, but it doesn't matter if it wasn't. It was a great idea, is that we could take, you were saying how special coffees like Juan Pena moving through our cafe were very helpful.
Yeah.
We were serving them, we were getting great engagement. And so it's like, maybe we, just to make this super gangster, maybe one month of the year, it's normal, whatever we have on hand. And then maybe 1 month of the year, like each cafe got to pick a banger coffee and then they got to do a super special run. And it was like, who made the most banger, which is like the expensive run. And we pre-gamed for it.
Well, because the bangers might be just part of that special coffee's launch. So if we got a reserve,
I'm just saying maybe
calendar.
each cafe could have one for fun. If we want to be that ridiculous and we're like, you got the Juan Pena at this cafe and you get Ben Hameen Paz at this cafe and you get whateversville that we, just that'd be fun and ridiculous.
yeah.
It doesn't have to happen. Of course, we're clearly dreaming here and in that scope, but
Well, I mean,
it's not a horrible idea.
the
and it could
easy
be
way
really
to-
fun.
That's why I'm being quiet. Over
Yeah,
here.
Charles is all, whatever, guys.
Charles is like, this shit won't work. Go fuck yourself.
No,
He's all regular
we're
single
in the-
origin would
We're in
work.
the Walt Disney. We're in the dreaming
he's
room.
All, don't make it reality
I
too hard.
read,
Well, no, here's
letting
what-
know people
that's
read the
interesting.
things that you post
Well, you probably
on
do.
Basecamp. I do.
Yeah.
So we're in the dreaming
you for
room.
that.
I'm gonna, but put my dreaming hat
Yeah,
on.
for now.
But it's not even that crazy of a dream. It's like, oh my God, we own a coffee company. What if we had single origin cafes?
Well, that one's
the single
easy.
origin
Yeah.
shots that the baristas picked. But work it like this: pick one cafe that's crushing. Portola.
They are crushing right now. Shout out.
Claire
and Alyssa, shout out.
run
Yeah.
And whole team, really.
Have Alyssa run the pilot program there for 2 or 3 months. See what it's like. And then
Just touch it.
Then we'll know. And if it's terrible, then I can shut up and everything can go back to normal. And if it's awesome, then maybe it's worth doing it at the other cafes.
What you would hope, and I think it's true. All these things are nods to using something more and being more engaged with it, right?
And it's just it's a point of excitement in terms of espresso culture, right?
Mhm.
It's like it gets people excited about making something. It's like, you know what I mean? I can't imagine how engaged I would have been as a barista if I only got to pull the same blend over and over again and didn't have the freedom to experiment, which I was fortunate enough to work at places where I did, where it's like, let's throw this in. That was like the story of my life. Let's throw this in the hopper. Let's throw it in the hopper. Let's throw it in the hopper. There wasn't a coffee on menu that I didn't pull a single origin espresso.
Mhm.
And that kept me stoked.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
get
I
really
love
engaged.
making airbender for people or street level for people.
Sure.
Love making the answer for people. But without single origin espresso, it's like, dude, kind of bored, honestly.
Spice of life.
Yeah.
I like a single origin espresso. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool to
Again, we're in the dreaming zone.
evolve. I think it is. You have to create a space where it's used enough to stay on top of it consistently, or you build in the whole.
Or if people know how to pull EK shots.
Yeah, and then that's a thing, which is great.
because then you don't have that issue.
We just have to get those EK shots calibrated in such a way where they could pull any coffee as espresso, and that's something that is totally doable.
Or
The way ours are calibrated now, you can't pull every coffee. Certain coffees
Yeah.
just will come out
just
quick
be-
no matter what
Yeah.
because of, oftentimes Ethiopian coffees go slow, but then you have, is it Kenyan coffees? One of them, I'm blanking, that always comes out just fast no matter what, and you can't get it fine enough. You can
Like
with the
a
calibration, but
Colombia.
yeah, sometimes Colombian coffees and some of those other coffees, it's just like you're not getting them over 18 seconds. You can calibrate the grinder tighter. We just don't.
you really want some sort of single serve grinder dedicated to espresso would be awesome.
Mhm.
Like a zero retention grinder that's near the bank of other grinders that's sole purpose is
Nail it.
espresso.
Yeah, because you're also like working the work.
You got the workflow.
the workflow
right?
into like 400 people, 400 tickets a day or something. You know, it's like hard to.
And
Exactly.
depending on
take
where
a
you
lot of
are,
time to.
like at Portola, you turn the corner, the EK is not very far, but at Swift Street, that's not really the case.
Right. it's
Not
by
right
the
now. You'd have to
register.
build it in.
Yeah.
And then make sure the power and whatever, it's all there.
More power, baby.
Hey everyone, that's the podcast for the week. Thanks so much for listening. If you heard something that inspired you, let us know, or tell a friend. These are the types of connections that are the most important to us and that we seek to create every day. If there's something you heard and you want to know more about, send us an email to podcast@catandcloud.com or head to our website, catandcloud.com/podcast, and let us know. While you're on our site, check out everything we have to offer. Dive deep into one of our single origin coffees or pick up a little treat for yourself. We have something for everyone, so check it out. Also, find us in the usual places, YouTube, Instagram. We're always there sharing amazing things. All right, that's it. Thanks everyone for being awesome. We'll be back next week.